and I created this piece on a live. So the footage that you're about to see on this project is mostly the live footage that Solly Joe took. You may see some of my messy workshop, which sits that side of the camera usually. But nevertheless, I hope that you enjoy the whole process on this Crackle and Decoupage project. So let's take a closer look. As usual, I start with a little bit of preparation. This piece of furniture needed some filler in areas, and it also had a broken leg which I fixed prior to doing the live. So what you can see me doing here is just smoothing down anywhere there was chips that I filled. Also, the piece of furniture had really stunted short legs. Somebody had chosen to chop the legs short, so I added some wooden knobs to the bottom of each leg just to create a little bit more height. The paint that I'll be using today is Magic Paint. This is an Italian brand. It's a lovely paint to work with, and the colour that I'm working with on my base coat is Vintage, which is a rich dark chocolate brown. The idea by using a dark rich colour as my canvas coat is because we will be using Solly Joe's beautiful Crackle gel medium to create some wonderful cracks, pre-applying some decoupage paper. Crackled gel is one of Posh Chalk's brand new products to the market, and it's an awesome product. It also sits alongside a couple of other products that work really well with it. There is Crackle Enamel and Crackle Paste. So I'm going to take you through what they all do. So the application of Crackle gel is always step one with all three of those products. As you can see, I'm applying Crackle gel to the surface of my paint, and then you can use any brand of paint over the top and you will get fabulous cracking to the surface. Crackle Enamel is a transparent product which you can use over a finished project. As long as you've got the Crackle gel underneath, you will get translucent crackle or fine crazing that you can then add clear and dark wax to highlight the cracks. And Crackle Paste is a paste that you can tint with the colour kicks or paint, and it's thick and it will crack over the surface. Wonderful for those interior projects that you might be doing on old pots or lamp bases. This is now the gorgeous new packaging for the Crackle gel, and it is beautiful. It's like posh makeup. Posh makeup. I wouldn't advise putting it on your face, but it comes with this lovely protecting lid. Gorgeous. So it can be all secured, and you don't need that much. So I've just intermittently passed over. You can see it where there's different colours over the top. I've done a really thin coat. I think she thinks she will get a YouTube video for me out of this.
No, I don't think I know. I don't think I know.
the decoupage madness to begin. The first thing I like to do before adding any infuser to the surface is lay out my paper and work out the positioning, where I'm going to place it on the surface of my project. The edge of the paper, just so I can trim it, the border off. Oh, this is weird, I've got a camera over my shoulder.
You're not making it very easy for me, are you?
I am going to do this really quick and not really careful. Stand out this way, and then I'm going to take this off afterwards and stick that down, and anything extra we might have to wear out. Does that make sense? So we can go me, smooth and blend, I remember the name. And we're going to apply it. So, what I'm going to do is open the container. Do we want to move the camera down to the floor? And I might be able to work a little easier, so I think I'll do that. And it's a better place for me to work. So I'm just going to focus on the top with the infuser. Really, you probably would want to let the crackle dry a little bit longer because it's still woolly cracking right now. But for the case of the video, we'll go for it. Go a little bit further than I need to. Right, take the flower. There we go, straight up. That is where it's well, maybe a little bit more. You get a little bit of wriggle room with this. So yeah, I can always paint that corner in if I want to. Right, so a little bit more here. Working content around. Camera work. Lovely, lovely. Right, so I do need to go back under here and make sure there's plenty of infuser because we've got this lip. I need to make sure I can go over the lip. Curves are always a little bit more precarious. Use my hand a little bit there. Lovely. Ooh, yeah. Something really satisfying about getting an instant pattern, isn't there? Yes, look, so those cracks in the white areas are really beautiful. It looks almost quite woody, doesn't it?
Gorgeous.
Right, I may go back up because I'll be working. What do we think, guys? Isn't that just the gorgeous pattern? Right, I'm gonna bring the set table up and then you can come up with me. What do we reckon, guys? Beautiful, eh? So, I've got bits of paint on this because I've been flapping it around. Right, I am going to take a pair of scissors actually, if I've got one to hand. Cut a little bit extra so it can go underneath. There we go. And then we can just put a little bit of infuser on the top. Can't see what I'm doing. So me and Solly Joe, we had a late night, didn't we, last night? We was up quite late chatting. And then obviously with Solly Joe's father not being too well, we've been travelling, what, about 45 minutes back and forward to the hospital, so we're quite tired. That's it. Can you see? I just took that excess underneath the lip. So, and I'm using my finger to do that. Yeah. There we go. So that's good. And now I'm going to go in with infuser, where are you? Just over the top so I can, it's drying sort of now. I tell you what we'll do, we'll just do a little drizzle. Do a little drizzle for the purpose of Josie's video. Yes. Yes. So what I'm doing here is marrying the pattern to one another. So can you see, because we've cut it off, it does a weird thing here, there's extra. But I'm lining up this flower mainly, and this one just comes off, so we can literally blend that pattern in. And I'm going to take it down the leg even, I think, and then we'll cut out the bottom bit. So now I know where it's going. We can get more infuser, and we'll go again. So I'm just making it easier on myself. Need to stick that down. And I do want to wrap it around the leg if I can, so the pattern really does continue. So, like so. I'm happy with that. I know that that's going to go. Right. Blend and smooth. Yeah, so I'm taking the centre main detail and I'm going back in underneath that lip, up to the top. And I'm not worrying about the pattern as it falls here and here, if that makes sense. So, straight in from the centre. Oopsie. We've got to crease it there as well, over that lip, and then round the leg lip. Worry about that in a moment. I have got paint all over this from underneath.
You're just a messy puppy.
It's a bit like, I don't know, like sewing, like a tailor.
Oh, from where I'm looking, it's matching up perfectly.
Yeah,
Wow.
and even though we've lost a bit of pattern in this corner because of the way it curves. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try and save a little bit of a rose, or maybe we won't be able to save it because I want to wrap. I'm going to go like that. Alright, so we're going to have to go right close up into the corner of that leg. Need more infusion on the back of the leg. Whoops.
Oh, this is looking really cool.
It's like wrapping a Christmas present, isn't it? A little bit of extra paper that needs to come. That's it. Right, so now let's address quite close to the edge underneath. A little bit more. Let's mark it out. This is dried a little bit and I don't want to pull it too much. You do probably have to work quite quick with these things. See what I've done here. Dare I pull this off? Dare I? Is it going to pull the paint? Ooh. It did it. It was all right. Come on. I didn't push into that little groove initially when I started, so I just wanted to make sure it was kind of, so I'm going to take my nail, make sure that is in that, because there's a lip, because of the leg. That's it. Yes. We can do the wrapping underneath. I'm going to take a little bit of extra off that. I'm going to go from the underside with my infuser, under here. And again, once this is complete, you can go back and paint over the paper and the wooden frame to make a really neat job of it. Keep your eye on the bits that you fold over and into the crevices, because they may lift as you dry. There we go. Right, I can now infuse the whole thing. We can go over all of this. So what we've got, see, I've got a sharp edge. So I've got to work out which is the best place for this. Yeah, it might be quite nice too. I think what I'm going to do, scissors. So on this, can you see that leaf? I think I'm going to cut along that edge of that leaf, because I think that will look more natural. And I don't normally like sharp edges on decoupage paper. If we cut that straight off along the edge, then it doesn't matter where it goes. It can go like that, can you see? And it doesn't really matter where we... I'm going to take, with a flower, you can kind of be a little bit raggy. So we'll make sort of like petal shapes. Yeah. There we go. Everything's sticking to my fingers. So now I can go in there with that leaf, because it adds that little bit of green as well, which is good, because we've got the dark at the back. Yeah, so that's where it's going. Last bit, let's get some infuser back on, and then we can have a bit of a recap where we're at. Can you see? Oh yeah, you can see, guys, you can see. I'm just probably over putting it, but hey ho. Oh no, I've got white paint again, look. Yeah, right, never mind. I'm not going to worry about it. It's white underneath. So we're going to go there. We need enough to wrap around, but I want it to be there. Yes, that's a nice place for it. So it's hidden, the connection is hidden at the back. So we can do smooth the front, and then I'm going to smooth that backwards, and then I can smooth that behind the leg for a nice connection, and then we're going to take that one across like that, and then a little bit more infuser to seal it back on the back side. There's a little flap. Done. Now time to find the perfect colour to blend into the background of the decoupage paper. It's pretty close, but there's almost like a greyness to this, and that is, I feel like that is a little bit of a pinkiness to it. So what does need to happen, it needs to go a little bit greyer, and a little bit, to move some of the warmth out of this colour, you need to add green, because red and green are on the opposite side of the colour wheel. They're complementary colours. So the colour that we did say, which was grey balm, look at the container, me splashing everywhere. It's got a greyness, but it's a green, a grey green. So I'm going to play with these two colours most definitely, just to try and create. And I've got the cotton, because there's a lightness as well. And we'll play around with just trying to blend a little bit of these three colours, just to create a very lovely connection between the two. Yeah, see, that's got like a grey greeny blue, which is quite nice. So I'm going to pop some, you won't see this, but I'm popping it on my table. And I will take this brush, a little bit in there. Yeah, it kind of cools it down a little bit. Need a little bit of white now. A little bit white.
Can they see that, Jonathan?
No, they can't see it, I don't think. Hang on. Can you see down here, I've added here a little bit of cotton, a little bit of Enjoy, and then I've added a touch of the grey balm just to add. So that's the colour that I'm kind of, can you see? Oh, let me come back up. Can you see? It's a little bit more. It looks far different on the camera actually, but I'm going to go for that colour, and then I'm going to add over the top, I think. We'll try and keep, yeah, it's a little bit strange, but I'm going to go for it because I've got a sponge here, which I can add some grey tones. Can you see just down there? I've just added a little bit of Solid Joe's Colour Kick in there, which should help it have a little bit more of a golden hue. So, yeah, that's quite nice. I can always add more. Of course, you want to be as close to the colour of the paper on the edges of the paper, and then you can kind of go in, because it's still damp. And really you want your top coat of infuser to dry really, because the infuser can mix into the paint as well and create sort of different colour tones, which is, but as long as you get that sort of initial stabbing over, and then I've got a sponge here which I'm going to just kind of soften. I'm not too worried about this area because I know that I'm going to put a wood U-bend over it. This is just it's not a sea sponge, it's a man-made sponge, but it's like a sea sponge. Connection, so work on your connection first, and then you can blend away into whatever colour you like afterwards. Those colour kicks are really strong, aren't they? Mm. The pigment in them are very strong, quite useful to add occasionally into your paint. I know this looks a hot mess.
It doesn't look like a hot mess. I think
tomorrow, I mean it's one coat, tomorrow I can really play around. Once everything's hardened, and I can play around, and maybe even with coloured waxes as well. It's like hitting a moving target, this. Yeah, sunshine. Ooh. All good fun. There. Yes. It don't look much on camera, but it will do, I promise you. Right. Let me have a little look face on. What have I missed? Something over there. There's wires everywhere, guys. Where did I put my sponge? Oh, right in front of me. I just want to do a little slight blend on this, on these two legs. Just soften it with the sponge so it fades away. That's it. And then I can just tidy that up. And then, where's my brush? You've put your brush down, John, and you can't see it. Where's, oh it's here, right here. So this is what I had completed on day one. As we roll into day two of this project, I decided it needed more decoupage paper. Simple fix of the connection on the dried paint was to sand down the edges of the paper, which I applied the day before, and then I went in with a light sponging with a light base coat to make sure that my paper would stay nice and bright as I apply the paper on the rest of the project. Area. The rest of the paper I'm going to use a wet paintbrush to remove the excess paper so it blends away into the background. Now time to try a touch of Crackle enamel. At this stage in the project, I'd already applied another coat of Crackle gel to the surface of the decoupage paper. I've left that to dry, and here you can see me applying the Crackle enamel. Now this is a translucent product, so you will be able to see through it to what lies beneath. Once it's all dried, you can hit this with a hairdryer to speed the process up. You then will need to apply a coat of clear and dark wax or any tinted wax to fill all of those fine line crazing cracks with a little bit of darkness. It looks absolutely beautiful. Moustache. £13.85. So I plan to pre-paint this with the magic paint, and it's going to go centralised at the bottom over the paper. I may crackle this again tomorrow because it's not going to have crackle on it. And I'm also going to add a trim. This is TR37. It's a very minute. Let's open it. I'm going to show you so you can see on camera. It's quite, look, if you can see my fingers, it's very minute with a little bit of detail around the edges. So again, I'm going to straighten this out, pre-paint it, and that is just going to sit on the edge of here all the way around to my moulding and continue, but it's going to break. That's why I went with the small one. It's going to break where the leg is, and we're going to paint it again in a similar backgroundy colour on the bottom. I think that'll be dry enough. Just make sure everything's nice and firm. Yeah, that's good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add some clear wax. We've got Posh Chalk Patina Extending Wax. It's just a clear wax. It smells lovely. You could use, Elisa's got a really lovely wax as well that smells nice. If I remember rightly, either. It's really smooth. So I'm going to go, you really should let this properly dry, but for the purpose of this video, the legs I'm not going to touch. I'm going to do all the top so we can get to see a little bit of the crackle. Solly Joe will bring the camera closer. It's just adding sort of a lubricant, really. I've got a hair in my...
Oh, isn't that annoying when you get hers?
A little hair. Peeled it off. Lots of wax on that flower. Okay, let's do the sides. I'm going quite heavy, and then I know that I can play around with the wax. Yes, that's quite good. Yeah. Like that. And then we'll go wipey. Ooh, it's so satisfying.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh my God.
And it does embed everything. All of the paintwork, the decoupage. The moulding's now getting embedded with the wax. We'll do it right the way on the other side.